Hello everybody, Wonky here bringing you a very special update video, and the developer of Stardew Valley, Concerned Ape, has confirmed on Twitter that the content update for Stardew Valley version 1.4 will be dropping on November 26th, so we're just under 2 weeks out from the biggest update to Stardew Valley in quite some time since the multiplayer update, really. So what I've been doing is I've been going through the Twitter and the developer blog just to kind of put together everything that we know is going to come in the update, and I've also been going through and reading comments and looking at the pictures and trying to figure out how some of this stuff is going to work. The developer does love to leave Easter eggs in his announcements and in the things that he posts. He loves to keep a little bit of mystery in his updates, so he wants us to kind of discover this stuff on our own. So yeah, let's get right into it and talk about what's going to be in this update. Now, the developer has described the update as overall polishing the game to fit his original vision. He said that there's going to be fixes to weird, annoying bugs that have been lingering in the build for quite a while. The two that we know of that he's mentioned are a bug with artifacts and a bug with the jukeboxes and how you can select songs. Now I'm wondering, I did not know that there was an artifact bug in Stardew Valley, and I'm wondering if the reason we've spent an entire year in game trying to get one single artifact in our series is because of this bug. Could be, we don't know, but we're still going to try to get it. He mentioned that there's going to be smoothed out controls. So I think in a couple places where controls are maybe a little bit jittery or it's easy to do the thing you didn't mean to do, we'll see a little bit more seamless experience with that. He's also said that nearly every aspect of the game has been expanded in some way. And the example that he gave was that wild bait will now give you a chance to catch double fish, which is pretty cool because wild bait is, today, it's supposed to give you a slightly better catch rate, but it's so subtle that it's really hard to tell. And he said that there's going to be a lot of little things like that where he felt that if the game had some holes or weak points that could use a little bit of a boost. So I think that that's a great example where you have bait that's relatively easy to get and you have wild bait that's the same effort as bait plus other stuff, right? If you can't tell a difference, if you can't tell why wild bait is better to use, then why would you ever use it? So I think there's going to be kind of a lot of those things. So what we might see with that, I'm thinking, is some balancing of the different type of artisan goods. So like today, the preserve jars and the kegs, if you compare those two, the increase in terms of like gold per day that you create on an item when you use those jars is nowhere near equal, right? The kegs do so much more above and beyond when you're making wine or juice. So if you're going for maximization and optimization, you wouldn't use preserve jars, right? You wouldn't use a lot of items in the game. You would only really specialize in one big thing, which is kind of the thing that we've been doing a lot in our Let's Play. So I'm wondering if a lot of the little things like that he's talking about would be some balancing out of all of the other items in the game. He's also mentioned that there's going to be more in-game stuff to keep you going, is what he said. So that could be a lot of things, right? That could be more television series, that could be more quests, that could be more content, new regions. There could be a lot of things that he might have created to kind of help us do a little bit more after you get past that 3-year mark. And really, that is the way the game is designed right now, is you have all unique content in year 1, unique content in year 2, and then there's really nothing unique in year 3 and beyond. And you can complete everything in 2 years, and then it just repeats. The channels that play are all reruns. There's no more recipes to do. You've probably done the community center by then. Probably done the post-community center missions by then, and there's just really nothing else to do. Your kids grow up to be children, and then they stop. The whole game just kind of stops progressing when you kind of hit that mark. So I think that's what he's talking about, to help the game progress beyond that like 2-year wall. Some other features that he's mentioned are coming. One is if you get knocked out in the mines and you lose stuff, you can actually now buy them back from Marlin, which is pretty awesome. So if you ever lose like a really prized item, the next day it'll be available for sale. Another feature that's been mentioned is the 14 heart events with your spouse. So if you don't know, everybody in the game has 10 hearts. For people that you can date and marry in the game, they have 8 hearts open, and then you have to start dating them by giving them a bouquet to get to 10 hearts. Then you have to marry them, and once you marry them, you unlock 12 hearts. And beyond that 12 hearts, there's actually a secret, another 2 hearts. There's actually 14 hearts in the whole thing. And you have to fill them up to 14 hearts to get the star drop from them, which is one of the hardest star drops to get in the game. And now there's going to also be a heart event for reaching that 14 heart milestone, which is really amazing. It should be really cute, really fun. There was a screenshot posted of a very like romantic candlelit dinner with Harvey. So yeah, stuff like that. Another feature, at least for PC, there will be a way to zoom out of your farm and take a picture of your entire farm layout. A lot of people use this doing mods and external tools with their game files, but now you'll be able to do it in game without having to do any of that stuff with your game file. So it'll be a lot quicker and a lot more convenient. It'll make posting all that stuff to Reddit so much easier. The next, I think the biggest like game feature that he's announced is fishing ponds. So you'll be able to add fishing ponds onto your farm. And what he stated that they're for is for raising and collecting eggs. I assume from fish, right? What I've been doing is I've been looking at all of the pictures that he's posted of this, and I've tried to figure out kind of how this works. So let me put that picture up here. If you look at this, there's actually some pretty telling information about how all of this might work. So these 3 ponds have the exact same kind of base footprint, but if you look at them, they all have different accessories and they're all kind of doing different things. So there's going to be like different configurations, it looks like, of the fishing ponds. If you look at the one on the top left, it actually has coral in it and nothing else. The other 2 have signs, one wood and one stone. Has the one at the wood sign has 10 squid in it, and you see one jumping out of the water and kind of interacting with the character who's got the same smiley face on them that you have when you have a pleasant interaction with an NPC. And the one below, the guy's actually fishing in it, and it has a stone sign. And if you look at the top layer over here of the fishing ponds, each of them has kind of a different decoration. One has like lures and fishing gear on it. One has nets. So what I'm assuming, looking at this picture, is the way it might work is you can designate a fishing pond to be a fishing hole where you can actually fish out of it. You can designate it to be a kind of breeding ground or a hatchery where you're getting new eggs and you're raising fish. Or I'm guessing if you can either designate it, or if you don't do anything with the fishing pond, it'll just start to spawn coral, and that's what you get on the top left. Another interesting thing is if you look at the bottom left of this little fishing area, he's got preserve jars there that are producing something that's not jelly or pickles, right? So those are the only 2 things that you can make with preserve jars today. So in the future, you can make this weird purpley thing. So if the purpose of the fishing ponds is to generate eggs, those eggs have to sell for a lot, or you have to be able to do something else with them. So my theory, what I'm assuming is you can take the fish eggs that you harvest and you can put them into the preserve jars and then make some sort of artisan good. Like maybe it's caviar or fermented fish or something, I don't really know. But that's what I'm guessing, is that you can turn those eggs into something better using the preserve jars, which would be a great feature to add to the game. Another thing that this could be is your way of getting kind of your initial eggs to put into the pond. What I'm assuming is you do one of 2 things. You either catch a fish out in the wild and you toss it into the pond, or you maybe put a fish into a preserve jars and get the egg out that way, and then put that egg into the pond. It's probably one of those 2 things. Like it's probably either you put a fish in, or you put fish eggs that you harvest in to the preserve jars to get whatever that purple goo is. And I'm assuming the purple goo is central to this fishing pond mechanism, whether it's to seed it initially or to produce a finished artisan good that you can sell for a profit. I don't know which one it is, but that's my assumptions right now. Now, there's 2 pictures that I think I found Easter eggs or telling items in that have been posted by Concerned Ape. This one that we were already looking at, if you look at the different fish, this one has squid and it has pike. And if you look at this other banner that was created for the 1.4 content update, you can see the fishing pond in the bottom right, where you can also see a carp, you can see a catfish, you can see an octopus, and you can see a fire eel. Why this is telling is because the circumstances under which you can catch these fish are all pretty different. And to show them all together kind of implies that you might be able to raise any sort of fish in these fishing ponds, regardless of what season it is or the weather conditions or the location or anything. So you're probably not like stuck with doing it just as like a river fish or an ocean fish. Looks like you can kind of mix it up. So all these fish come out under different circumstances. The squid comes out in winter at nighttime only. The octopus comes out in the morning, I think also during winter only. The catfish comes out under a couple seasons, but only when it's raining, and the fire eel can only be caught in the mines. So all of these are like really difficult fish to catch. You can't generally catch them through whenever you want. You have to wait for the right conditions before you can catch them. What they're implying with this is that all these rare, hard to find fish will all be usable with the fishing ponds, which is kind of amazing. It's really good that we can get these rare fish that are often very hard to get. That makes a lot of recipes more viable to cook more often, like calamari. If you're trying to befriend Pierre, you can do that a lot more easily. So that's pretty awesome. I may be totally wrong on this. I'm not the most knowledgeable person about Stardew Valley, but I played it quite a lot, and I think I've seen almost everything in the game. The first thing I noticed is these outfits that these characters are wearing in the screenshot. So first, I know of no way today that you can dress your character in a dress. I think it's only pants, right? You can change the pant color to wherever you want, but this looks like a dress. So I'm wondering if he's going to be offering more types of outfits that people can wear in the game and allow people to wear things that they're more comfortable in rather than just pants and a shirt. Another thing is the hats. I do not recognize these hats at all. And the hats are a very specific mechanic in the game. You buy the hats from the Hat Mouse, and they're all based on achievements. So this is kind of implying two things. Now, if these hats are new, it's possible that they're not, and I just didn't know about them. But if they are new, that probably means that there's going to be new achievements coming out as well, which is a really big deal also, because if we're going for the completionist farm like we did before, it's going to be even more challenging in the 1.4 update, which is a great thing. So another smaller thing that I noticed is the sheds have kind of a texture update. There's these little stars by the top window now on the shed, and I see that in both screenshots. So it's something that he's highlighting. If it was just a texture update, I don't think he would point it out twice. I don't think he would put it in both pictures that he posted if it wasn't meaningful. So now I'm wondering if you can do something new with sheds, which is pretty interesting, because if you think about it, it's probably the most used feature outside of its intended purpose within the game. People post all kinds of amazing shed designs on Reddit. It's probably the coolest thing that you see on Reddit is farm designs and shed designs that people have done with furniture and with decorations and wallpaper and flooring and all that. It's just really cool to see. What I'm wondering is if these stars is a way to designate a shed as a specific type of building other than just a shed. So wouldn't it be cool? One of the things that people do a lot with their sheds is they turn them into like restaurants or other sort of like storefronts or museums or things like that. Wouldn't it be cool if what this meant was you could designate your shed as like a visitable place like that? If you do that, then maybe the NPCs and the villagers come and visit you every now and then, or they come and they shop in your store or visit your restaurant. Again, I'm just speculating. I'm making assumptions. I don't really know what's going to happen, but I'm just trying to rationalize, like, why would he point this out twice? So even if I'm wrong, pay attention to the sheds, because I think there's going to be something there besides a texture update. And speaking of texture updates, there is something that he's teased but not said anything about in both update images. And if you look at the cat and the dog in the pictures, they're different breeds than the typical cat and dog that you get. So now I'm wondering if you're going to be able to pick your breed of cat or dog, or if there's just a general skin update to the cat and dog. So the other sort of like Easter egg that's here that I don't really have a theory about is this picture of Linus screaming with a can exploding out here. Now what I'm guessing is that this is going to be a new cutscene with Linus. If I'm going to speculate like I have been this whole video, I think he's probably going to do a little bit better job of helping people understand Linus's character, where he did a good job overall, kind of explaining that Linus chose his way of life. He's not like a down on his luck homeless guy. He's somebody who has chosen to live the life that he's living. I think what we might see with Linus is a little bit more exploring of his character and his backstory and trying to start to understand who Linus is and why he made the choices that he's made in his life. and maybe see him connect a little bit more with the town. One of the things that has disappointed me with Linus and his backstory is, while our character is able to bond with Linus and do a lot with him, he doesn't really connect with anybody else in the town. And there's a lot of like disparaging comments that are made about him by other villagers. And a lot of the events that happen, a lot of the town events, Linus is kind of off doing his own thing. He's not really comfortable interacting with the people in the town. So maybe with Linus, you can kind of repair those relationships a little bit, get to know him a little bit better, help him integrate into the town culture, help other people understand them. That would all be really cool things if those were part of the update. Again, the caveat, I don't know that it's going to be that way, but those are the things to look out for. Now, I wanted to share some thoughts on what I hope he might be doing with some of the expanded in-game things and the expansion of different features of the game. One thing that I hope is happening, either in this update or a future update, is more things that you can do with your children on the farm. It would be fantastic if you could see them grow into be a young adult, maybe go off to college, maybe join the farm and help things in the farm, or get a job in town or something like that, right? That would be really cool to see them grow up and become their own person. As it is in the game, like they never really grow up beyond small children. They never leave the house. They never really do anything. So you kind of feel bad. You kind of feel like you're the only one that gets to go out and experience things. Your spouse kind of wanders off every now and then to kind of do their own thing, but you don't really do anything as a family. You don't really take your kids anywhere. So doing a little bit more family oriented things, that would be a lot of fun with the game, I think. Now you've got the extra houses that you can build on your farm for multiplayer. Why not let us use those same houses to move our kids into once they're ready to kind of grow up and be on their own? So another thing that I think would be really great for the game is to have some more quests or have some more things where you can explore some of the backstory. We hear a lot of rumors about the war that Kent came back from. We hear a lot about another province. There's this big rumor about Abigail being the daughter of the wizard and not Pierre, and why does she have purple hair? Like there's all of this kind of secret backstory behind Stardew Valley that we know Concerned Ape thought of, and we know that he has it in his head, is not ready to share all the details behind this world with us. A lot of that's because he wants us to figure it out and kind of build our own stories on our own. Another part of it is this world he's built out for Stardew Valley. He has said that his other games will draw from the same sort of reality. So I'm sure he'll tell us more in other iterations of this land that's not Stardew Valley. Well, that's everything that we know is coming in the 1.4 update. Everything that I've kind of uncovered or looked at with the different Easter eggs hidden in the announcements, and a lot of assumptions on my part around what might be coming or what I hope is coming. I'd love to hear from you and hear what you think as well. Leave some comments down below and let me know what you're most excited about or anything else that you've thought about that might be part of this update. I'd be really interested to hear that. Also, I can't wait to play this update, and I'm wondering if I should start a whole new Season 2 of Stardew Valley, since there's going to be so many things changing in it, or if we just update our game file and just keep playing in Year 3 of our current one. So if you need any thoughts on that, let me know down below in the comments as well. I'll probably throw a poll up as well on the community page, so yeah, just keep an eye out for that and answer that whenever it comes up. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up here. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like below to let me know it. Don't forget to subscribe to show your support for the channel. If you have any other feedback for me, as always, leave that below in the comment section. And until next time, I will see you all in the next video.